The Securities and Exchange Commission and Ripple have reached a $100 million agreement on the XRP problem after a thorough investigation. This opinion was reached after a lot of thought and analysis. The Securities and Exchange Commission wants a lot of money, but Ripple doesn't agree that it's enough for the Terraform Labs case. The two situations are very different from one another. Ripple has made that clear. It doesn't agree with what you want to say. Judge Torres did not agree with the SEC's request to throw out the case they had brought against leaders of Ripple, even though the SEC had sent a motion asking for the case to be thrown out. The letter that Ripple sent to the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) about Terraform Labs' consent decision has been looked at by the SEC, which has reacted by making important progress in its answer. This comes after the SEC made important progress in their response. Since then, Ripple has made this statement, and the criticism it has gotten from the Securities and Exchange Commission for finding the cryptocurrency business too much has been presented in a very open and honest way. A lot of people have heard about the complaints that Ripple has brought to light. People who work in the blockchain business have used Terraform Labs as an example. It's important to remember that the fine the Securities and Exchange Commission put in place that case was only 1.27% of the overall amount that was involved. In October 2023, the SAC asked that the case that the Securities and Exchange Commission had made against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsson, two executives at Ripple, be thrown out. Give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join our group before we start. This will tell you everything you need to know about XRP. About the subject being talked about, this move was made and was brought up. Because of this, the ongoing battle changed its course, which had the effect of changing the situation. But Judge Torres and his formal verdict said no to the request. That's why the move was turned down. Ripple has spoken out against the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) because it is clear that the SEC is biased and wants to punish people with fines that are too high for the types of violations they have committed. In the accusations made by the Stocks and Exchange Commission, Terraform Labs has been charged with taking part in dishonest financial activity by manipulating crypto asset stocks. It was this kind of charge that the SEC made. This claim and the one made by the Securities and Exchange Commission might have some things in common. When a settlement is made, it might become the norm for future claims involving crypto digital asset securities. This is called setting a precedent. This is what will happen if a settlement is reached. If an agreement is reached, this example may work out well. This is something that you should think about. The Securities and Exchange Commission's most recent comment could set a standard for future lawsuits. In addition to making it clearer what the government's stance is on XRP, the statement could also set a precedent for future lawsuits. Right now, the industry and the Securities and Exchange Commission are fighting in court, and the outcome could have a big effect on the coin market. This fight is going on right now. At this moment, the fight is still going on. This very moment, that study is being carried out. People who work are very interested in how this lawsuit might affect the price of XRP and how it is viewed by the law. Moon Lambo, a YouTuber and expert on XRP, thinks that the price of XRP might go up if the case was handled by the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is because XRP has been subject to legal certainty for more than a year. This is the reason things are the way they are. He says, though, that such a price increase wouldn't make sense because XRP has already been legally stable. This is what he thinks is true. The reason he says this is because he believes that XRP has already been tested by the law. A very experienced source, Cryptopol, says that Ripple won't be able to be sure of its legal status for XRP until it pays any fines it has been given for selling XRP without the necessary registration. Cryptopol thinks Ripple won't be able to do this until it pays the fines. Ripple hasn't paid any of the fees that have been given yet. This is what's going on. He says that the court should limit how much the company can sell its trust account to make sure that Ripple is following the rules. Moon Lambo is most interested in the fact that XRP has been recognized as a non-security in the past. This gives Moon Lambo a clear legal stance. It gives a clear legal stance, which is why all of this is happening because XRP has been found to not be a guarantee. A big court case is going on between Ripple Labs and the Securities and Exchange Commission right now, and it's almost over. The CC is fighting this battle hard. At the moment, Ripple Labs is involved in this fight. If Ripple handles transactions using XRP, the Securities and Exchange Commission says that these are unregistered securities offers. The SEC has made statements about this problem. It is planned that the Securities and Exchange Commission will seek fines totaling $2,500,000. In the past, an American district judge made a ruling that did not go well with Ripple. That choice to do this was made before. The judge said that the company broke the law when it sold XRP to sophisticated buyers for a total of $728 million. This is the choice the judge came to after making the decision that had to be made. David Schwartz, who is the chief technology officer of Ripple, talked about the company's ability to keep going strong. In spite of the problems that have been happening around the world, Schwartz said this about Ripple's ability to keep being strong, because following the rules of other countries was easier than following the rules of the United States. In his speech, he stressed that the company had a strategic advantage because following the rules of other countries was easier. When the lawsuit between Ripple and the Securities and Exchange Commission is over, it will be a big deal for XRP and the whole coin market. This will be a big deal because the company will be able to get the Securities and Exchange Commission to lower the amount of the fine it wants to pay. This is because this has already happened since the Terraform Lab Village was set up. In their company, Ripple Labs has been able to figure out how much progress they have made. As part of its case, the company has stressed that its own proposed $10 million fine should not be higher than the $2 billion fine proposed by the SEC. The group was making an argument, and this idea was talked about within that framework. The price of XRP dropped a lot on Thursday, hitting 0.4. This was because the price dropped a lot earlier in the day compared to the day before. This happened because of something that happened earlier in the day. As part of their investigation into Terraform Labs, the Securities and Exchange Commission gave the company a fine that was about equal to 1.7 times its total gross sales. This was done to make sure that the offender is held responsible for what they did. According to Ripple, the main source of disagreement in this court case is the Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC is the main person Ripple thinks is to blame for their argument. In comparison to Terraform Labs, Ripple says that they have not been charged with fraud, and that investors in XRP have not lost a lot of money, which would mean that they should get a lighter punishment. Ripple said this is the case because there are no claims of theft in their case. The situation with Ripple is different from the situation with Terraform Labs. This is in contrast to Terraform Labs, which has been accused of theft itself. This kind of claim has been made. The video is over. Thank them for commenting and liking the movie. It makes YouTube work better. Tell a lot of people about this movie to spread the word.